Alright guys, CTFaLy here back again today, and there's a few things to talk about. Yesterday we actually finally got some gameplay of the next Call of Duty game that is coming out October the 25th, that's Call of Duty Modern Warfare. Don't want to go into all the complexities again of how, well, we had CoD 4 Modern Warfare, then we had Modern Warfare Remastered, and now we have Call of Duty Modern Warfare, but we're just going to have to deal with it. I'm sure we'll get the hang of it. So, yeah, let's get into the content of the video. Some interesting things to go along to start with. Also want to talk about some game modes that could potentially be being played next year at the CWL, because there's a few leaks around it right now from a pretty damn credible source. And if it does come to be true, as you can see in the title, the reverse CTF thing, then, well, we're talking about some very interesting changes to Call of Duty. And of course, we actually have seen some gameplay, and some people have had an opportunity to play the, well, Modern Warfare. And I don't know if you've seen the gameplay from yesterday's 2v2 reveal. It used to be called, I think, Face Off back in the Modern Warfare 3 days where they have it. They have a new name now, but we'll go into that in the next couple of minutes. So yeah, like if you guys enjoy the video, subscribe if you are new. I would greatly appreciate it. So firstly, just wanted to talk about this interesting bit of news here. So Train Hard Esports won the French qualifier. I talked about this the other day. Now supposedly, they had a guy called Hydra, promising young French talent, play for their guy called Zeet, which is called Ringing. It's been done in the past where people will have other people play on their accounts for big tournaments in online events, or, you know, online tournaments, however big you can consider that to be. And then, well, these screenshots, a number of them are basically saying, as long as these translations are along the right lines, you guys who are French, if there's any of you watching, then maybe you can say whether this is true or not, or what you guys are thinking on this issue more generally. But, yeah, apparently Risk is pretty much admitting that that this was indeed the case. Don't want to go into it in too much detail here, but you guys can pause the video and look at these if you would like. But yeah, like he says, I need money, bro, I didn't have the choice. And of course, these guys had a pretty tough year. They're on denial, you know, like Risk and Zeke and those guys. Still, of course, if you're ringing an online tournament, it's against the rules. It is what it is. But yeah, I thought I'd bring that to your guys' attention. So let's get on to some Modern Warfare stuff. Before we do that, I've said it a couple of times already. This article yesterday from the New York Post, if it joins the league, which is talking about 100 Thieves, let's just actually have a look at the thing here. So, professional gamer Matthew Haig, or Matthew Haag, whatever, like, why is he a professional gamer? So, I'm not sure exactly what to think about this article. There's an image in the article, which is, I'll leave this link down below if you guys want to have a look at it. There's an image which is of Slasher and Priestahh, and Slasher is named Enable on the image. And then they're calling Matthew Haig or whatever, Nadeshot, a professional gamer rather than, yeah, okay, he's the founder and you know, professional gamer, maybe underselling Nadeshot a little bit. They used Drake in the title to drum up the clicks, you know how it is. The team, which already sells apparel and has launched its own streaming shows, wants to register in a new Activision Call of Duty Esports League. The launch is next year, a source said. Not really very well written either. Teams that enter the league pay a roughly 25 million initiation fee, two sources said. If it joins the league, 100 Thieves would be the second official Los Angeles team, apparently, and could start holding events at LA arenas, increasing its popularity. Now, this is an interesting potential. Of course, OpTic Gaming, Immortals, whatever, they have the LA spot. Now, it could be rumoured that in the future, maybe when more spots become available in the CDL, this is what it's going to be called this year, then it's possible there would be more LA teams, but I find it unlikely that there would be two already. And, you know, I'm sure Nadeshot wants to get a spot in the CoD League, but whether it's actually a good investment, well, you know, I don't think so, to be honest. I'll talk about that in future days. So here we go. Yesterday we had the 2v2 live stream, and well, it didn't get the best reception because it didn't seem to be the best quality, and also they had like streamers doing it, which I don't really mind. It's good promotion, but at the same time it wasn't the I watched a bit of it, and just watching Courage, please just give me some gameplay. So, you know, unfortunately that is how it is. Now, this is a screenshot. Not sure I'm allowed to show you this. I should be able to, so hopefully Activision don't come after me. Pretty much what people were sharing this for is that there's no minimap in the top left. Now, of course, this is a special 2v2 mode. There's no regen in this mode. Things are really rather different than traditional Call of Duty, but it was at least the first thing we got to see. I'll leave a link down below if you want to watch the entire live stream, although, you know, well, hopefully you enjoyed at the very least. There's some interesting things going on. Now, Now, yes, this is what I was going to get to, but, well, yeah, we'll get to that in a second. I want to talk a little bit more about the gameplay real quick, because the gameplay seems to, from my perspective, changed quite a bit from previous games. Of course, we've heard talking about the new engine in this game, which is going to change a few things, especially how the game is played, how the game is run, whatever. Now, interestingly, the game, I don't know how it feels, but it doesn't look, and it feels more like, it looks much more like Battlefield, and, well, at least some of the movement is, it looks much more like Rainbow Six from what I can think. Watching it just makes me think straight away Rainbow Six, and, well, that's interesting, and, you know, Aches and the like talking about how, well, it's more slower, tactical-paced game, which I'm sure is good, but as Exclusive Ace was saying, it has some familiarity with traditional Call of Duty and how it feels, but it's not quite traditional Call of Duty. Apparently the time to kill is down a fair bit. There's also some other interesting things that can potentially be discussed, like leaning. You can mount your weapon on, you know, doors, on window frames. You can look around corners with your weapon kind of leaning, but it's kind of not at the same time. And that can also reduce your recoil. So a lot of interesting features to be considered here. This game mode, the 2v2 mode, it was a randomly selected, randomly generated class. We'll get back to the game modes thing in a second. This was really cool though. They have a full in-game tournament-based bracket system that allows for tournaments for the gunfight mode. That's what it's called. I forgot the name earlier. This game does all the work for the brackets, and apparently this is legit, which is honestly really exciting stuff. And this is what Bevel's had to say about it. Could be dope as an all-star game, Blackout, you know, Blackout After Dark type of alternative. You know, we'd have to see. I wonder whether this would transfer this 2v2 no health regen over to competitive search. I reckon it's unlikely, but, you know, you never know. Bevel says no health regen could either be really good or really bad. Depends on the maps, pacing, time to kill. Pacing and time to kill seem like they're allowed to work for it, but we've got limited information. Doesn't seem very logical, realistic to have regen and respawn to no regen and search and destroy though, which I certainly agree with. So yeah, some more topics on this. This is what Mido says about the whole issue with the in-game tournament bracket system, and hopefully if there's something like that going already, there is hope that they may do some sort of game battles integration like we had in, they had it in MWR, they had it in Infinite Warfare. I think those are the only two games that had it, so that's exciting to me. Hopefully that will occur. If it doesn't, well, it is what it is. So yeah, moving onwards from this, we have the following. So this was on the main post, and, well, this is an interesting question I thought I'd raise with you guys, and I'm generally just really interested on what you thought, because I'm sure a lot of you guys watched the reveal. What do you think about how the game looks? What do you think about the weapons that are in the game? What do you think about how the game might feel when we actually get our hands on it? Of course, it's going to be cross-platform this year, which is very exciting, being able to play with, you know, Xbox, PS4, all together. So yeah, honestly, promising signs. Drifter reckoned the game was shockingly good from what he'd played, which is, you know, Drifter is a realist, I would say. So if he's being very positive about it, then honestly, I'm inclined to do the same, because he's not afraid to call stuff out when he doesn't think it's good, or he doesn't enjoy it, or he doesn't think that that's the correct business model to be using. He's heard a lot of good things and enjoyed the game, clearly. So I'm trying to keep a positive frame of mind. Typically, I don't really take too much of a positive stance anymore. I try not to, because in the past, you know, it's always how it is. Like, these reveals come out, people think it looks really good, and then it doesn't take long before the game launches. Everyone thinks it's unbelievable, and then a couple months down the line, it's like, you know, this game's crap, or there's all these problems come to light. We know how the Call of Duty cycle works. So I'm trying not to get too confident, too optimistic, but from what I'm hearing, there's a lot of really good things going around right now, and of course what we're focused on is the competitive side of things. So if the game is going to be a more slower, more tactical pacing, which I would say is rather likely, these kind of slower games with the less cracked out movement tend to be more tactical and better in their pacing. So yeah, it's pretty funny seeing all these guys that haven't been very good the past few games praise the game, even guys who can't get on a team. Bevels, I don't know why Bevels is mentioned here, Pack, Killer, Aches, etc. thinking since it's slower they'll magically be better than the simps of the world. I think some people are truly overestimating how slowing down a game will change who's best. I don't care the game. Guys like Killer will never be be better than guys like Simp. Killer acts as if the new fast-paced guys have no awareness, which is far from the case. Which I kind of agree with this assessment of the situation, that yes, I mean, obviously Simp is incredibly naturally talented, and other players like that, they will transfer their skills over to other games, but, you know, it's definitely a fact that, or maybe, okay, I don't know about a fact, but it's definitely, anecdotally, it seems to be true that a player like JCap, for example, last year in World War II, he was honestly a very solid player from my perspective, but this year hasn't been so good. Now, in my opinion, that game suited his style much better, and that tends to, I think, suit the styles of the older, more traditional players. And I think it was the same really thing we've seen with Aches from last year to this year, and the same with JCap. So I do think that exists to some degree. It has nothing to do with pacing, it will affect other players. I just rate tactical games over pure slaying / abusing broken mechanics. Nothing is more enjoyable for me than to watch them play than talent tied to a tactical system, which certainly agree. Now, whether the game will be tactical is yet to be seen. So this is what Aches has to say on the issue. Thank God it's nothing like Black Ops 4. I'm so tired of slide cancelling and crack aiming. Also, yes, sliding is back, but it's not maybe the same sliding we've seen in the past, a little bit slower. You know, you guys can go and watch the gameplay for yourselves. But it looks so much like the old school Rainbow Six, and he says the following: really looks like you can't sprint into gunfight. Seems to be, it'll be a lot more positional. That part at least I love. Tactical lethals back in full force as well, even though in the 2v2 gunfight mode you can't use tactical and lethals for the first few seconds of the game, which is pretty interesting. But something I do not like is how clunky the movement appears, which is kind of something I noticed. Obviously seeing versus playing is entirely different, but the running, jumping, etc. looks Battlefield-like. That we do not like that. And, okay, let's go on to this real quick before we end the video. 5 game modes in CWL. The Gaming Revolution. This is the guy that has done a lot of leaks. He supposedly leaked the fact that this 2v2 game mode existed a couple of weeks ago now. So, long before we've had any confirmation. This guy's certainly legit to some degree. He reckons the 5 game modes will be Hardpoint, S&D, CTF, Infection, and Domination. Now, well, this is very interesting. Now, Hardpoint Search and Destroy obviously standards. CTF, not surprised to see that coming back. But two more modes. So what's going on here? Do we not have a best of 5 series anymore? Like, what the hell is this? So, Panny P says reverse CTF, which is effectively what Infection seems to be. So, Infection as a mode seems to be, we've heard this for a little while, something along the lines of you have a flag in your base, not necessarily a flag because it's Infection after all, and you know, you can take the flag or whatever to the opponent's base and then you capture it. So why would you have that and CTF? To me is interesting, and well, as Aches says, it's really rather similar in theory to Blitz. So yeah, I'm kind of intrigued. I'm looking forward to how this plays out. But what do you guys think about this? Because what the hell are we going to do with a 5 game mode series? Like, what is this? And why is Domination back as well? It's terrible for competitive. Like, what is going on? So I'd be interested to hear your thoughts on that, whether this does come true. Just because the Gaming Revolution said it doesn't mean it's gospel, of course. But, well, something to keep in mind, I would say. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like if you did, subscribe if you are new as always. Thank you guys so much for watching, as always, and I will see you next time.